Hey, Maniacs. It's Mark from Midsomer Maniacs. And the situation is this. We know that you love Midsomer Maniacs, and we know that you watch all the shows along with us, and you've probably seen all of the Midsomer episodes many times. And so what we've done for you this week, because we're all stuck at home quarantined, we have some other shows that we recommend that you watch, of course, after watching all the Midsomers. If you haven't watched all the Midsomers, watch all the Midsomers first, and then listen to all our podcasts about them. But you may have done that already, and you might be current with us. We're working hard on our next episode, which is Made in Splendor, that will be out on Monday, March 23rd. So we're already hard at work on that episode. But we just had a couple of shows that we thought, shows and movies that you would like, and something that you would want to give a try to. Definitely we're in the situation all the time that we are, where we're like, what are we going to watch? We've watched all these other things. So this is our list of TV shows and movies. There's a little more about each of these in the show notes if you want to miss something that we go over pretty quickly. So first of all, we have Campion. We mentioned this a couple of times on the show. Peter Davidson stars as Campion. He has an awesome sidekick named Lug, and they solve crimes in the 20s in England. Great series of books as well as television shows, and lots of guest stars that you go, hey, isn't that person? There's also Mrs. Bradley's Mysteries. That stars the glamorous Diana Rigg, who from Avengers to Game of Thrones has absolutely been fantastic in everything. We watched her. And Neil Dudgeon, who you might know as the new Midsomer Barnaby, he's her chauffeur in this, and they get up to some absolutely interesting cases right away. There's only a few of them, but they're all gold. They're definitely very good. Another show that we really like is Mr. and Mrs. Murder. It's set in Australia. A couple who work as crime scene cleaners solve crimes as well. Their relationship is fun. There's tons of witty banter, and it's always lightning fast, and it has that light quality. You know, sometimes you watch a lot of murder shows or mystery shows, they can get pretty heavy sometimes, Prime Suspect and things like that, which is great if you're in the mood for that. But if you're not, it's difficult. Mr. and Mrs. Murder is always light and fun, and they have a great time while solving mysteries. Another show that we're going to recommend is Misfits. You have to trust us on this. It is not the normal television show that you're probably used to watching. It's pretty far away from Midsomer Murders. It's about a group of kids who get in trouble and are basically juvenile delinquents that get superpowers. It's as weird as you can think of, and it's just gets better and better and better. Worth a watch. Get past the first few episodes and you'll be okay. Restoration Man, George Clark is a favorite of Sarah and mine. He restores old homes in the UK. That's on Prime, I think. Most of these are either on Prime, Hulu, Acorn, or Netflix. Have a look around. And then Restoration Home has Carolyn Quinton in it of Blue Murder and Jonathan Creek fame. Follows the restoration of old UK homes along with research assistants who look into the home's history. So both those shows, Restoration Home and Restoration Man, are sort of transition shows of ancient buildings in England that are really fun to watch. Another show that we really like is Shetland. It's set in the far reaches of the Shetland Islands, way north of Scotland. They're great mysteries and have great scenery as well, and stars Douglas Henshaw, who does a really good job being a father and a boss and a detective. It's all very interesting. It's a good show. Now, I think there's 3 or 4 seasons of that as well. One of the sort of our second favorite, probably, that you might or might not have watched is Murdoch Mysteries. This is a long-running Canadian mystery series that mixes humor and history, and it's quirky and fun, and you'll enjoy it. It's set in Toronto at basically the turn of the 20th century, from the 19th century to the 20th century. And it has all sorts of guest stars who are famous people and things like that in it. That's really fun. And it has all sorts of kind of in jokes about the current situations and things like that. It's good stories. There's also 2 movies with the characters played by different people. Those movies are a bit harsher and not as humorous, but they're still pretty good to watch. I enjoyed them. So another show that we like a lot is New Zealand's answer to Midsomer, which is Brokenwood Mysteries. It has a fun cast with great stars. It stars Neil Ray, who I think is really good, and not just because he's a heavyset guy with a beard like me, but I think he does a great job acting in this. And there's some great music in this. I know country music's not for everybody, but you can't get away from the quality of the music in that show. It's definitely fantastic. I have songs in there that I've never heard before that I really love. So another show that we like is a newcomer into the whole comedy mystery genre is Shakespeare and Hathaway. It's current show. It's out 2 seasons, I think. It's a BBC show that mixes comedy and mystery, like I said, and it has a fun cast in it as well. And then finally, for TV shows, we'd like to recommend Queens of Mystery, a contemporary mystery show with a great cast. A young detective is in it, and she solves crimes with the help of her eccentric aunts, and you know all of her aunts. As soon as you start watching that show, you'll be like, oh, I know all those people, and they're fun, and it's good mysteries, and I really enjoy it so far. It's a pretty good show. So there's only 1 season of that, I believe. As far as movies, we have a real eclectic bunch of movies that we're going to recommend to you. First of all, Grabbers. Richard Coyle and Russell Tovey star in this comedy about aliens invading a small coastal town, I think in Ireland. It's candy for your brain. It's so fun. It sounds like a horror movie, but it's a funny horror movie, and you will enjoy it. Another movie we recommend is called The Hippopotamus. It's based on a book by Stephen Fry. In fact, probably one of the first books by Stephen Fry that I read, starring Roger Allam, who's Thursday in Endeavour, and we've seen him in a number of Midsomer episodes as well. And it's thoughtful and beautiful to look at. Absolutely. Another recommendation we have is a movie I always show in my class. It's a movie that doesn't get enough credit, which is The Prestige. Sarah has a note here that just tell them that stars David Bowie as Nikola Tesla. Enough said. And that's usually how I started. The Prestige is a movie in which not a tiny bit of it is wasted. Everything's incredibly important. And I love it because it's one of those movies that you can watch, and when you get done watching it, you want to watch it again right away. A couple of fun movie recommendations also. Scars of Dracula. It's a Hammer horror film. If you're into that sort of stuff, it's a hoot, that's for sure. Christopher Lee is in it. It's referenced so many times in Midsomer Murders, we thought that maybe you should have a look and watch Scars of Dracula. And then finally, one of my favorite movies from the 70s in England is The Wicker Man. The original 1973 movie with Christopher Lee and Edward Woodward is absolutely fantastic. There are so many callbacks to that in other shows, including The Straw Woman, which is one of our upcoming Midsomer episodes. After Made in Splendor, I think The Straw Woman is the next episode. So we'll certainly be talking about The Wicker Man when we get there. So it might be good to see. And plus, it's Christopher Lee. You can never go wrong with Christopher Lee. He's so fun. And his hair is fantastic in that show. It's absolutely amazing. And actually, it's something to watch that I think the new HBO series, The Third Day, with Jude Law in it, which starts May 11th, 2020, is going to make a lot of callbacks to, because, again, he's trapped off the coast of Britain on a small island with strange goings on. So certainly there's going to be Wicker Man references there. So that's our list, Maniacs. Check out our list of movies and television shows. There's more information in the show notes. Each of those should be available on Prime, Netflix, Acorn, or Hulu for free or a reasonable cost. Have a look around. You should be able to find them. Our next episode of Midsomer Maniacs is coming out on the 23rd of March, and it will be Made in Splendor, which we're enjoying watching this week. And remember, we're also on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, as well as Reddit and email. If there's anything on this list you think we missed, please let us know on any one of those channels. We'd love to start a discussion about this. Hope we're having a great day in quarantine. Wash your hands. Bye, maniacs.